What's going on, everybody? This is Justin Gazaba, and this is Living and Moving to Seattle, Washington. This is the channel that gives you all the nitty-gritty, the good, the bad, the ugly about living here in Seattle, Washington. And my name's Justin Gazaba. I'm a local real estate agent here in the area, and want to be able to share all these details and information with you. So if you're thinking about relocating, go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, and we're gonna get into this video, which is everything that you need to know about living in West Seattle. So if you're thinking about making the move out here, shoot me a text, give me a call. Let's set up a time to chat so we can go over your unique situation and help get you rocking and rolling. If you guys don't reach out, I can't help you. So like I said in this video, we're gonna talk about West Seattle. Now, West Seattle is one of these great Seattle neighborhoods that doesn't get enough attention. So I've got some notes, so if I'm looking down, checking stuff out, that's what I'm looking at. But I wanna make sure to give you all the details and information about West Seattle. What we call West Seattle is kind of like the Gold Coast of Seattle. It's got fish shacks, coffee shops. It has a totally different beach vibe to it than the rest of Seattle. It's got sandy beaches out at Alki. In the summertime, people are playing volleyball. It is a whole different ball game. There's rollerblading. It is a different world over in West Seattle. So what we found is that over the last couple of years, the West Seattle Bridge, the direct access from West Seattle to Seattle, has kind of been closed. And what we've been trying to share with people is this means West Seattle right now is an opportunity, because a lot of folks feel like, hey, gosh, I don't want to try to fight this commute to get into town. I don't want to try to deal with this traffic to get into Seattle, which has kind of depressed a little bit of West Seattle. Now, that isn't saying that, it's free to live there. It's still Seattle, still has that Seattle market, but what you get over there is just, there's nothing comparable with the views, the water access, that summertime vibe. If you've got maybe a little bit more laid back schedule, that really could be the neighborhood for you. So West Seattle, there's a few different neighborhoods over there that are really worth checking out. Obviously, at the tip up there is West Seattle's Alki Beach. And so the North Admiral neighborhood in Alki, and then we have, they call it Judkins, or the Junction, the Junction area, which is kind of where a lot of the shops and restaurants are that are in the middle of West Seattle and not on that coastline. Further south, there's Genesee, High Point, and then Fauntleroy. Fauntleroy is where the West Seattle Ferry is, that ferry that takes you over to Port Orchard, gives you access over there, can kind of be a nice change of pace to get you over to Port Orchard, to take you out to Bremerton, Silverdale, the Olympic Peninsula. Even if you want to use that to get into Gig Harbor, you can do that versus driving around, and versus going up to the next Seattle Ferry, which is out of downtown Seattle, that takes you to Bremerton. Now, there's a few other neighborhoods, Delridge and South Park. It's really, two neighborhoods that are going through a lot of transition and really becoming quite nice. The Delridge area, White Center. Now, here's the thing. White Center isn't really in West Seattle. It's kind of its own thing. It's not Burien, but it's close to Burien. It's not technically West Seattle, but it is a great area with lots of shops and restaurants, and it has some really cool tattoo shops and Mexican restaurants, and it's a very cool neighborhood. A lot of up and coming stuff happening in White Center. Technically not West Seattle, but definitely worth a look if you're into that kind of that neighborhood. Feels a little bit more like a working class neighborhood, although it's still Seattle, right? So. But really cool. Fauntleroy, I think in past videos I have talked about this neighborhood. Now the name escapes me. Arbor Heights, which is down there, which is a really cute little neighborhood. Again, not technically West Seattle, but it's West Seattle, right? So when you think about those different neighborhoods, there's going to be drastic differences when you have neighborhoods that are on the water or have water views versus the ones that are a little closer to the Duwamish River. Now, the Duwamish River is what cuts the West Seattle and creates its own peninsula. And the Duwamish, out by the Duwamish River, is where there's a lot of warehouses and industry. So when you move from, let's say, that South Park neighborhood, which is technically in West Seattle. On the other side of the river is Georgetown. And Georgetown is one of those neighborhoods that's also known for bars and restaurants and breweries because it has that zoning that allows for those breweries to be there. So really the two brewery districts, is that Georgetown area and that Ballard area because of zoning, right? But what I wanted to mention was that in West Seattle, you have that beautiful opportunity for water views, and then on the other side, closer to the Duwamish, like I was saying, it gets a little more industrial, right? So the neighborhoods vastly change block by block depending on where you are. Now, again, that West Seattle bridge has been a plight of a lot of folks trying to get into town when they have to commute to work. But there are a couple of different ways to get in and out of West Seattle. Just further south, you have pretty good access to 509, and that'll take you into downtown or take you further south depending on where you need to go. So the things to think about with West Seattle is, hey, is the commute time in your car, do you do that often enough to where you're going to spend a little bit more time in your car to get in and out of downtown Seattle or in and out of Georgetown, or maybe you work further south and you've got to get down into Burien or Kent? Is it worth it to get that kind of access to the water, Alki Beach, those shops, those views? Is that what you're looking for? And then the other thing to think about is that there is some fantastic homes, newer construction, new townhomes, and even updated single-family homes that are down in that Delridge, South Park, Highland Park area, and some really affordable condos. And that whole area has tons of restaurants and bars, and it really is, I've always said that neighborhoods in Seattle are very centralized. A lot of times when you move to a neighborhood, you spend most of your time in that neighborhood. So does that offer you the lifestyle that you're looking for, that walkability that you're looking for? Something to consider if you're considering different areas in Seattle. Is that West Seattle area, eventually light rail is going to come out there, and eventually that bridge is going to get fixed. But right now we're seeing a real opportunity to move out to West Seattle in an area that's stunningly gorgeous, that has a ton, like I say, a ton of amenities, and is really, really great insofar as living that lifestyle. I know a lot of folks that they want to be in Ballard or Fremont because they want that appeal and that neighborhood appeal. But price points dictate that, hey, maybe they should consider West Seattle and be able to get into something there that has a similar neighborhood feel. So really appreciate you spending the time and checking out this video. Again, reach out to us, shoot us a text, give me a call. Let's have a quick discussion about what your goals are coming out here into Seattle, and what your lifestyle is going to look like, how you see yourself, what your perfect average day looks like, so that we can help you make a move and make it really convenient and easy for you. Again, it's Justin Gazaba, living and moving to Seattle, Washington, and we'll see you in the next video. All right, talk to you.